Welcome to the Explainer. Today we're going to tackle probability, a topic that can feel a little strange, right? But it's actually built on really simple, everyday logic. We're going to break down how we can count possibilities and use that to figure out the chances of pretty much anything happening.
So where do we even begin with all this? Well, not with some crazy complex formula. Nope, we're going to start with something much more familiar. Lunch. Believe it or not, the absolute core idea of probability can be found right there on the menu.
Okay, just picture it. You're at your favorite restaurant. The menu's simple. You've got 2 starter options, say soup or some bread, then 3 choices for the main course, and to finish it off, 2 desserts. So the big question is, how many completely different, unique 3-course meals could you possibly make from that menu?
And the answer is actually so much simpler than you might think. We just take the number of options we have at each stage and multiply them together. So that's 2 starters times 3 mains times 2 desserts, which gives us 12 possible combinations. This simple idea has a pretty powerful name, the fundamental counting principle. This is the bedrock, the foundation of all probability. It's really just about multiplying your choices in a sequence.
Okay, so that's how we count possibilities. But what happens when one of your choices actually affects the next one? This question is absolutely crucial, and it basically splits the entire world of probability into 2 major categories that we really need to get our heads around.
Let's start with what we call independent events. Imagine you've got a bag with 7 beads inside. 3 are yellow and 4 are black. Now, if you pick out a bead, you look at its color, and then, and this is the most important part, you put it back in the bag. If you do that, the odds for your second pick are exactly the same as they were for your first. The events are independent because the past didn't change the future.
And we can see it right here in the numbers. On that first draw, the probability of you picking a yellow bead is 3 out of 7, right? But because we put that bead back, the conditions for the second draw are identical. The total is still 7 beads, so the probabilities stay exactly the same. 3 and 7 for yellow, and 4 and 7 for black. Nothing has changed.
But what if you don't put that first bead back? Suddenly, everything changes. The whole landscape of probability just shifted because of that one little action. This is what we call a dependent event.
And this is where it gets really interesting. Let's say we start with 8 beads this time, 3 red and 5 green. Your chance of picking a red bead first is 3 out of 8. But if we keep that red bead, look what happens to the numbers. On the second draw, there are only 7 beads left in the bag, and only 2 of them are red. The probability of picking another red has dropped from 3 out of 8 all the way down to 2 out of 7. The second event is now completely dependent on what happened first.
So here's the bottom line. It all boils down to one simple question. Did the first event change the conditions for the second one? The key phrases you got to remember are with replacement for independent events and without replacement for dependent ones. That distinction, well, it's everything.
All right, now that we have these core concepts down, counting and dependency, let's learn the official language that mathematicians use. We're going to start with the AND rule, which, as you're about to see, should look really, really familiar.
You see, this is just the formal name for what we already did with our lunch menu. We wanted a starter and a main and a dessert. From now on, whenever you see that word "and" connecting a sequence of events, your brain should just immediately think multiplication. That's the product rule.
And here it is. This is basically the fundamental counting principle in its official math speak form. So the probability of drawing a yellow bead and then a black bead, assuming we put the first one back, is just the probability of the first event, 3/7, multiplied by the probability of the second, 4/7. Simple as that.
But wait, what if we don't need 2 things to happen one after the other? What if we're just interested in the chance of either one event or another event happening? Well, that requires a completely different tool. This is the addition rule, and it is super powerful. To find the probability of A or B happening, we add their individual probabilities together. But then, and this is key, we have to subtract the probability of them both happening. Now, why would we do that? Well, it's to avoid double counting any outcomes that are in both groups. It's just a really clever way to make sure our counting stays accurate.
Now, what about a situation where 2 events just can't possibly happen at the same time? For example, you can't roll both a 1 and a 2 on a single roll of 1 die. It's impossible. These are called mutually exclusive events, and for them, the probability of A and B is 0, which makes our OR rule a lot simpler. We just add them up, and we don't have to subtract anything at the end.
Okay, theory time is over. Let's use our new rules to test a real scenario. This is where probability stops being just an idea and becomes a seriously powerful tool for analysis, one that lets us see hidden relationships inside data.
So let's say we have some data from a survey, but we don't know how the events are related. Are they linked somehow, or are they totally independent? We can actually use that product rule we just learned, but in reverse, as a kind of definitive test for independence.
So here's our data. We're told the probability of some event A happening is 0.2. The probability of event B is 0.7. And the measured probability that both A and B happen together is 0.21. Now let's put these numbers to the test.
Here's the test, and it's super straightforward. If these two events are truly independent, then the probability of A multiplied by the probability of B should exactly equal the probability of them happening together. So, the big question is, do our numbers match up? Let's find out.
Okay, let's do the math. We'll multiply our individual probabilities. 0.2 times 0.7 gives us 0.14. Now remember that number. This is what the probability of both events happening should be, but only if they're independent.
And there it is. Our calculation gave us 0.14, but the actual measured value for both happening was 0.21. They don't match. This isn't just a small difference. This is mathematical proof that these two events are not independent. They are dependent. One event is influencing the other, and that kind of discovery really matters. It could be the difference between a medical trial showing a drug is safe versus discovering it has a dangerous side effect for a certain group of people.
So we've gone all the way from a simple choice on a lunch menu to a powerful test that can find hidden relationships in data. These fundamental rules, counting, dependency, the AND rule, the OR rule, they help us decode the world around us.